So what is arguably the absolute best form hands down throughout the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series? Well, don't be stupid, that's of course Final Form. You probably would have expected me to say Ultimate Form from Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Form's replacement for the game. It takes on the white attire once again, with Sora floating over the ground. No need to use those legs or toes, my boy. But this time, instead of Sora having two floating Keyblades behind him, he's rather got one conductor's stick. Now, don't get me wrong, this conductor's stick can summon forth the power of a multitude of swords, which in itself is extremely badass. All of the teleporting abilities and whatnot that Sora can utilize whilst in his combos is pretty mind-blowing stuff. But there is just something special about Final Form. The two orbs of light that are constantly floating around Sora, the fact that the form itself has this glowing effect going on. And yeah, the Keyblade thing is absolutely crazy. Two Keyblades floating behind him, and you're telling me that Sora can just simply wave his hands around in the air and the Keyblades do his bidding for him? The moves as well within the combo of Final Form are just something completely different. And while yeah, Ultimate Form's attacks within its combos are some pretty wild stuff, I still have to say that Final Form takes the cake. Well, through the glorious power of modding, Sora Venn, who was the one responsible for the absolutely wicked custom combo modifiers in the Sora EX video that I released last week, has done it again, and this time he's come forth with a Final Form mod for Kingdom Hearts 3. Currently right now, we do have a fully working Valor Form mod for the game, which I covered earlier on in the year, but this is what I've been waiting for. My absolute favorite drive form of all time, now usable in Kingdom Hearts 3, and recreated, by the way, to an absolute T. This is really some mind-blowing stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, bask in all of its glory. This is Final Form in Kingdom Hearts 3. We've got the two floating Keyblades behind us, as well as Sora floating above the ground. Of course, that animation already exists within Kingdom Hearts 3 for Ultimate Form, and we've even got the correct look of the form itself with the model of Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora. The outfit along with playable KH2 Sora was created by Richie5. Now, Sora Venn has combined a bunch of pre-existing animations and effects that are already within the game's files to try recreate Final Form as best he can, and he's done a really good job. So for movement, like I was saying, it's reusing that animation that Ultimate Form uses, where Sora, just like in Final Form, floats above the ground. What's cool though is we do have the floating Keyblades behind us, so they will follow just as they did in Kingdom Hearts 2. In Kingdom Hearts 2, Final Form has an ability known as Auto Assault, which means that the Keyblades can essentially inflict damage to the surrounding enemies when Sora does just basic movements, and that applies here for this mod. So when Sora jumps, the Keyblades will spin around him, and any enemies around him will take damage. The same can also be said for when Sora lands too. Final Form also has that really incredible glide that allows the Keyblades to spin next to Sora, and that any enemies that get in the way of it will be chucked through the absolute meat grinder. Final Form's guard has been changed to that of a barrier guard, which is trying to replicate Reflect, as because in Kingdom Hearts 2 you weren't able to use guard while in Final Form, you'd end up resorting to using the Reflect magic. What I really like about this, and I think this is a cool attention to detail piece, is in Kingdom Hearts 2, when Sora uses Reflect while in Final Form, the Keyblades spin around him, almost doing an inner circle of protection. And this too will also damage enemies, so this has been replicated once again for this mod. When you pull off the barrier guard, which is Reflect here, the Keyblades will also spin around Sora, and this means that just guarding next to an enemy will do a little bit of chip damage towards them. The counter reprisal though is extremely cool. Sora will pull off what is, I guess, trying to mimic a Reflect explosion, reflecting the damage that would usually be taken in. It's just essentially a massive explosion that does a lot of area of effect damage. Because this mod replaces Ultimate Form, it means that of course you will be equipped with the Ultima weapon, so this mod actually does come with two versions. The standard version, which will have Sora equipped with two Ultima weapons while in Final Form, or an Oathkeeper and Oblivion version, which I have installed, as you guys can see. More fitting, I feel. Looking at Final Form's combo, it consists of Sora flailing his arms around the place, manipulating the Keyblades to attack in all directions and surrounding Sora from every angle. It's a truly devastating combo, and the way that it's been replicated here is pretty much one-to-one, including a lot of the main abilities that Final Form can utilize. Depending on if you're in the air or on the ground, the combo for Final Form is going to slightly differ. Final Form's attacks here in the mod are the same for both ground and air, but what is neat is the mod incorporates both of the unique attacks found within the aerial and ground combos from Kingdom Hearts 2 and incorporates them all into one. We have the ground combo projectile piercing attack, which is of course reusing one of Double Form's moves, Sora's Final Form Strike Raid Buzzsaw attack, the Keyblades smacking together creating a Shock Blast move, the aerial attack where Sora's between both Keyblades with them piercing up and down to create a devastating move, and even the divers here, though I have to admit looking even cooler here in Kingdom Hearts 3. And finally, to finish it off, the combo finisher, which is where Sora in KH2 throws the Keyblades and jumps off of them, slicing in all directions within a small amount of time. What's cool about this is the camera sometimes can actually zoom up on Sora before he actually activates this ability. It's completely devastating. It creates a lot of damage and will attack basically anything in the area. Now the actual finisher for this form is unchanged. It's the exact same finisher as Ultimate Form. I do know that Sora Van plans on updating this mod in time to come, so it is very possible that he might go ahead and actually add in a unique finisher for this form. You may have also noticed too that the form UI is slightly different from Ultimate Form's UI. We've now got Final Form written there and the colors are different. So let's see exactly what this bad boy is capable of. Yeah, Terranor just pretty much gave up with Final Form. He was like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not going through the headache of being thrown around like a rag doll. I'm just going to cross my arms, activate the invincibility card, and just be done with it. I'm not going through this anymore. He's finished. Like, he just fully gave up. He stopped working. The This just goes to show the raw power of Final Form. So that right there, guys, is Final Form recreated in Kingdom Hearts 3, a completely working version of which. One that has been skillfully recreated, almost basically one-to-one from what we see in Kingdom Hearts 2. A massive shout out to Sora Van for the amazing work yet again. Just the fact that like this dude has gone ahead and reused a lot of animations that already exist, and somehow through doing that has managed to create such an accurate Final Form in Kingdom Hearts 3 really is just like ridiculous stuff. I always say this, of course, but like the mod community here with Kingdom Hearts 3 continues to blow me away. As always, guys, the mod link will be in the description down below. This is definitely one of the must-have ones to add to your list. Have guys, I'm Cynical, hopefully having a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.